If you're about to trade crypto futures, stop for a second. Because 99% of beginners lose their account in the first few days, not because the market is against them, but because they make three deadly mistakes no one explains clearly. And if you stay until the end, I'll show you exactly how to trade on BingX Futures step by step without falling into those traps, and how to reduce your trading fees by 40% using my referral code ZORVTA9L. But first, you need to understand why most people fail before they even place their first smart trade. Why most futures tutorials fail you. Most BingX Futures trading tutorials only show you where to click. They show you how to open a position, how to change leverage, how to close a trade, but they don't explain the psychological and risk management mistakes that quietly drain your balance. And that's exactly why so many people search how to trade crypto futures after they've already lost money. The platform is not the problem, the lack of structure is. And in a moment, I'll break down the first mistake that destroys beginners instantly. What crypto futures actually is. Crypto futures allows you to trade the price movement of a coin without owning the coin itself. You can go long if you think the price will go up, or short if you think the price will go down. The powerful part is leverage, which lets you control a larger position with a smaller amount of capital. That sounds exciting, and it is. But leverage is also the fastest way to liquidate your account if you don't understand how it works. And here comes the first mistake almost everyone makes. Mistake number 1, max leverage at the start. The biggest mistake beginners make on BingX Futures is using high leverage from the beginning. They see 20x, 50x, even 100x and think that means faster profits. But leverage magnifies losses the same way it magnifies gains. With high leverage, a small price move against you can trigger liquidation in seconds. That's why so many new traders say, "I don't even know what happened, my position just disappeared." What happened is simple. They treated futures like a lottery ticket instead of a risk-controlled strategy. If you are just starting, staying between 1x and 5x leverage gives you breathing room, it gives you time to think. It reduces emotional panic. And emotional panic is the real account killer. In a minute, I'll show you exactly where to adjust leverage inside BingX so you don't fall into that trap. But before that, you need to understand mistake number 2, which is even more dangerous because it feels harmless at first. Mistake number 2, nitrogen monoxide stop loss. Most beginners open a trade and say, "I'll close it manually if it goes wrong." That is not a strategy. That is hope. And hope is expensive in futures trading. Without a stop loss, you are emotionally attached to your position. You start moving your exit lower and lower. You tell yourself the market will come back, and sometimes it does. But when it doesn't, your account gets wiped. A stop loss is not optional. It is your insurance. It defines your maximum loss before you even enter the trade. Professional traders think in terms of controlled risk, not guaranteed profit. And here's the key point most tutorials skip. You should calculate how much you are willing to lose before calculating how much you want to win. That shift alone changes everything. Stay with me because the third mistake is hidden, and most traders don't even realize it's happening. Mistake number 3, ignoring funding fees. Funding fees are small payments exchanged between long and short traders at specific intervals. On the surface, they look insignificant. But over time, especially if you hold positions longer, they can eat into your profits. Many beginners don't even check the funding rate before opening a trade. They focus only on direction, but direction plus cost equals real profit. If you ignore the cost of holding a leveraged position, you are slowly leaking money. And leaking money is worse than losing fast because you don't notice it until it's too late. How to trade crypto futures on BingX step by step. Now that you understand the 3 biggest mistakes, let's talk about execution. First, you need a BingX account. If you don't have one yet, you can register using the link in the description and use referral code ZORVTA9L that gives you 40% off trading fees on futures and spot and access to a welcome bonus up to $7,700. Lower fees mean less friction on every trade, and over time that makes a significant difference in your net results. After creating your account and completing verification if required, deposit your funds. Once your balance is available, transfer your assets from spot to futures inside the wallet section. Then open the futures trading interface. Here you will see the chart, order panel, leverage, adjustment, and position details. Before placing any trade, adjust your leverage. Do not skip this step. Set it to a level that matches your risk tolerance, not your greed. This single action prevents most instant liquidations. Next, choose your order type. Market order executes immediately at the current price. Limit order allows you to enter at a specific price. For beginners, limit orders often provide better control. After selecting position size, define your stop loss and take profit levels before confirming the order. This creates structure. Structure removes emotional chaos. Emotional chaos destroys accounts. And here's something most people never talk about. Your first goal in futures trading is not to double your money. It is to survive long enough to develop consistency. If you can protect your capital, opportunities will always come. If you lose your capital, the game is over. Position sizing and risk control. Let's talk about position sizing, because this is where most beginners silently sabotage themselves. Before you enter any trade, decide the percentage of your total account you are willing to risk. A simple rule many disciplined traders use is risking only 1 to 2% per trade. That means if you have $1,000, you should not lose more than $10 to $20 on a single position. This forces you to calculate your position size based on your stop-loss distance, not your emotions. When you think this way, you stop asking, how much can I make? And start asking, how much can I safely lose? That shift alone separates gamblers from traders. And if you're still watching, that tells me you're serious about doing this the right way. How to calculate smartly before you click buy or sell? Here's the simple structure. First, identify your entry price. Second, decide where your stop loss must be based on market structure, not guesswork. Third, calculate the difference between entry and stop. That distance determines your risk per unit. Then adjust your position size so that if your stop loss is hit, you only lose your predefined percentage. When you use BingX Futures properly, this calculation becomes part of your routine. Over time, routine creates discipline. Discipline creates consistency. And consistency builds confidence. Why lower fees actually matter? Many beginners underestimate fees. They think a small percentage doesn't matter. But if you trade frequently, fees compound. Reducing your trading fee by 40% using referral code ZORVTA9L on BingX directly improves your net results over time. The difference between profitable and break-even trading often comes down to cost efficiency. That's why using the registration link in the description is not just about bonuses, it's about long-term optimization. The welcome bonus up to $7,700 can also give you additional margin flexibility. But remember, bonuses are tools, not guarantees. Your edge always comes from risk control. If this video helped you understand how to trade crypto futures the right way and avoid the 3 deadly mistakes, make sure to subscribe and watch the next video where I break down a simple beginner-friendly futures strategy you can test immediately. And remember, in trading, survival is success. Once you survive long enough, growth becomes inevitable.